Howdy, folks. Welcome to another edition of the Archershack Shop Talk. I'm Jeremy.
I'm TJ.
We're on podcast 69. Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
This, let's see, what do we got? 2 more days till Christmas when this comes out, so that'll be good. They were originally talking about snowing here on Christmas Day, but now I think it's just saying rain, so they didn't change it up on us.
Yeah.
We got in a 80-pound Nexus from Prime a while ago, the 32-inch model, so that'll be fun to play with, do some video on, see how fast it'll go. I hadn't even shot it yet, but it's here. We got a 34-inch in. Got some, all I need is a 36, and I'll do a big review on all 3 of them. So hopefully pretty quick.
As of right now, I've got no rain on Christmas Day, but rain Christmas Eve.
Okay.
But that will change.
I'm sure. Question for y'all. What is your favorite archery apps? Like, just whatever. You know what I mean? Like spine software, keeping track of your shots, just whatever. Put in the comments, what's your favorite apps? I'm just curious because I hadn't looked in a while, but I used to, every couple months would just type in like archery in the app store stuff and see what would pop up. And I know new ones come around all the time. So, what is your favorite ones? What should we look into?
Most of the time when I look on them, it just pops up archery games.
Yeah, like crazy kid stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
And also, what reviews would you like to see soon? I know, we're going to have, obviously, the Nexus stuff coming up pretty quick here as soon as we get a 36 in. And we'll do a few on some bear stuff. Other than that, what would you like to see? I really need to do, one of our most watched videos was when I did a rundown of, like, all the Black Eagle arrows a couple years ago. And it was sort of a rushed, thrown together type of thing. I really have thought about doing a full-blown redo, and I think since then they've come out with a Revelation. That might be it, and they've done away with the Magnum and a few arrows that we talked about, so I might update that. That'd be a good one. And I even thought about just chopping it up instead of making it one big one, just be like, here's a video on the Spartan, here's a video on the Carnivore. That way, if you search for it, it would pop up just that one. But anyway, got a lot of feedback on that video, and for it to be just a quick thrown together cell phone video, maybe it's time to redo that one.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else. I mean, we got, at any given time, we could do a plethora of restringing videos. I get bored of them because we ultimately do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over. You know what I mean? I mean, of course, like, a solo cambo is going to be a little different tune than a binary or a hybrid or this or that, but so I don't know. It's one of those, like, I'm going to keep doing them, but maybe cut back because I just feel like it's the same thing over and over and over. But it's funny because I'll do one, like I did the one on the Jennings Buckmaster, and a lot of people watched it and was, loved it because that's what they still shoot, even though it's an older bow. So I know certain bow models, people like seeing stuff about. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I mean, I still feel like we hadn't done a ton of crossbow stuff.
No.
But there's not a lot you can do, really. I mean, putting a string on a crossbow is a pretty simple process.
Yeah.
And then there's a little bit of tuning on the crossbow and then shooting it, and that's really about it. So I mean, we could, maybe when the bear crossbows come in, we could do like a here's how you put it together video, but most people are going to buy it already put together anyway, so I don't know. Y'all let us know if y'all know of anything. We got our Broadhead stuff coming up that we've been talking about forever. We just got to do, and that'll what we'll probably do with that is just record small 10-minute videos of each Broadhead and slowly dump them out as weeks go on. But that'll be not going to happen next week because of Christmas and all that, or this week, I guess, when this comes out. But maybe the next week because it's still busy, but it's slowed down to where we got a little time to breathe compared to a month or 2 ago. So we may at least get a couple Broadhead tests done and kind of get some feedback on what we should change. We could even do a demo and let those of you that watch us on a regular basis, be like, here, y'all watch this. What do we need to change, and get a good series of things going, and then delete that one after a week or two, and then start putting together the real deal ones. But looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Just got to do it.
Yeah, that's the big thing. And did we decide we was going to switch the bow up and use mine?
Yeah, we're going to use TJ's Hoyt because he's had it for years, not going to sell it. It's a carbon element, and I think that'll be a good choice, you know what I mean? Because it's a good, solid hunting bow. You're not planning on getting rid of it.
No.
I was just worried, like, this year we use a Nexus 32 that one of us maybe have, and then we sold that bow, so that way, like, next year's broadhead test really won't be feasible with this year's because it's a different bow and all that.
Yep.
That way it'll keep the same bow for however long we do these things. I mean,
Yep.
I ain't saying in 5 years, we might,
Oh, yeah.
but for at least the next couple of years, we'll have the same setup and nothing different.
Yeah, that's just the big thing. Each year we try to shoot the new bow. That way we can get the feel for it, and plus that way we can tinker on it in case something does come up with a bow. It might, we might run into it or anything like that. But yeah, I don't plan on getting rid of that old Hoyt.
So that'll be good. That'll be coming up. It's funny because if you look at biggest videos we've done right now, by far the most views is on the Chinese bow review I did. I mean,
Wow.
It blows everything else out of the water. And, the reason is I'm sure it's a popular search because it's like the number 1 or 2 bow on Amazon. And, I went through the setup and the whole 9 yards. So another thing I want to look into is look up pretty much the cheapest action camera on Amazon.
Yeah.
And then mount it to a bow and be like, is this $50 or $40 action camera, that's currently number 1 on Amazon worth buying to put on your bow? That
Yeah.
sort of thing, because I think it would. We gained. I mean, after that Chinese bow Sanlita bow video dropped, I mean, we gained like 500 subscribers in a week or something. I mean, it was like boom. So that's a good thing. You know what I mean?
Well, it makes you wonder. It makes you wonder if people are actually people getting into archery and don't want to put $400 or $500 in a bow. They can get into that, or is it people that's like, well, let's see what they're doing. Let's see what they say about this Chinese, whatever is coming from China. So I wonder how much of that went into it.
I think a lot of it is just people getting into archery and they see that we put out a consistent.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I feel bad because I hate to talk about some of the more technical stuff sometimes like we do, because I think some people are thinking, what in the world are they talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we should step way back and start doing more stuff about the basics, sighting in, form. So I don't know, but I think we got to cover all that. Because I think our core group of y'all that watch us are, y'all been doing this a while.
Yeah.
But I don't want to leave the new people.
Oh yeah.
Running for the hills because they don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's all we got planned. We would have the ATA stuff coming up in a couple of weeks. I never realized how much I would miss the ATA if they didn't have it until this year when they're not having it. I'm thinking, man, normally we'd be planning we'd be booking hotels and getting ready and planning out orders and all that, but it's going to be something different.
Yeah, it's going to be wild, and it's going to be weird. I mean, because, we've said it before, but one reason we go to ATA is, not only to see the new stuff, but also handle it and shoot all the bows side by side by side by side all the way down the line. And it's one of those, we're not going to get to shoot some of these new bows this year unless one of them just happens to come through the shop.
Especially we'll have Matthews and Hoyts and all that come in, but some of the more not so popular stuff that we could be like, we shot this, we loved it, we hated it. We're like you say, we probably won't see that. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Let's talk about post office delays.
Oh, Lord.
The post office, I'm sure y'all know, I've got some Christmas presents ordered that have been floating around for about 10 days, and unfortunately we got a couple string sets that are, I don't want to call them lost, but they're floating somewhere above Lake Michigan right now. No, I don't know where they are, but we've had a couple things. Like we shipped some cams back to Prime.
Yep.
And it showed that we didn't even drop them into the mail. And then one day magically they were just showed delivered. So I don't know what's going on. It's a mess, and I know between the COVID and it being the time of year it is. Whew.
Yeah, it just sucks because I know one set in particular, we got it made and got it shipped out. The guy, he was going on a hunt or leaving to go on a hunt, and I think he said he nicked the string with a broadhead or something. I can't remember, but which happens. I've done it myself. I've nicked a cable with a broadhead, and normally we shipped it out. Normally
2 or 3 days.
3 days, 4 days at the max. It's there. And he called and he's like, do y'all know where my string is? Did y'all ship my string? I pulled it up and I looked and I'm like, yeah, here it is. And it says and that's what it says. It says like we've never dropped that string off to be shipped.
That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
It really makes me want to go to like FedEx, but it sucks because we literally have to go up somewhere around $10 a set to go that route. For one, for two, I'd have to drive a good ways to get them dropped off of FedEx. And three, I just hate to charge. I don't know. During the regular time of the year, they may lose one a month or something.
Something like that.
They lose some, but we're shipping a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's crazy right now. So which today, matter of fact, it ain't just them because we had an overnight box supposed to be here by noon today, and it has yet to show up, and we don't know if it's showing up or whatever. So, and that was through UPS. I don't know. What a mess. What a mess.
Yeah, it is. Well, I know I heard somebody say that this is supposed to be a record-breaking year for packages shipped or something like that.
Well, I'm sure with a lot of people canceling Christmas plans and the way Amazon is and all that, there's no telling. Well, they canceled Lancaster.
Yep, they did.
I think we all thought it was coming, and then honestly, I done switched to thinking they're going to actually do this because they waited so late, and then a couple days ago it popped up they were canceling, so that's not good. So pretty much no indoor big shoots this year whatsoever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think 3D stuff would cancel because you're outside. You're not. You are in a group, but you could definitely get away from each other.
Oh yeah.
Outside.
The only one I can see.
I could see the ASAs saying
we got to cut back on numbers or something like that.
I could just see them saying when we do the shoot-offs and they're inside, we're going to have them outside.
Yeah. Well, and plus, we've been to, the one they had in Augusta or Appling, and, on some of the lanes, it's kind of tight on some of the courses. So I bet you they're going to have to spread them out a little bit more and probably consolidate some numbers. But
it'll be interesting to see if anybody cancels, or more than that, what they probably already got this planned out, but what states might say, nope, you know what I mean? You're not coming here with a crowd.
Well, really the only northern state that ASA goes to is Illinois.
Yeah, I hadn't even looked at the schedule this year, but last year they canceled.
They had London.
They did have London?
No.
That's what I was going to say. They canceled London, so I don't know. I think they did.
They had, because they did the Classic was supposed to be in Metropolis.
And it went back to Foley.
Something
else. I think London moved.
They canceled the Fort Gordon? Because that's where they was originally going to have the Classic after Metropolis.
Yeah, Benning or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'll just be curious to see how that plays out. Here's another question to throw out. A Christmas question.
Uh-oh.
If you could have one archery item to put on your list and get for Christmas, what would it be? Well, I guess you could include everything. Bows or accessories. I'll tell you what I'm going to have to buy. I think I'm going to go ahead and just do it because I got the Nexus, the 36-inch one coming that I'm going to make my 3D bow. And I'm going to keep my 39 as like an indoor bow. So I think I'm going to order an Ultra View scope and put on that indoor setup. And I think I'm going to order it here in the next week or two. I think that's my plan. And I'm also going to have to get some bars unless I want to flip, which I could just flip the same set back and forth. I may just do that, to be honest.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm getting is Ultra View scope.
Ultra View. I don't know. I would almost say I'd probably have to go with a B3, one of their tournament sites, just to try.
Yeah.
I seen one on Facebook that popped up in one of the groups I'm in, and it was a sharp-looking little site. I mean, it was just a bar. It didn't have a scope, but and then you get into, okay, well, what scope do I run? Or
I know it. I know it.
There's so many options out there. I kind of looked into the Bowfinger stuff a little bit. I kind of like it.
I was about to say that. Bowfingers, because I felt like, I still think, like when we bought our Excel carbon bars, to me that year, which was a couple years ago, that was top of the top.
Yep.
But now I don't feel like there's a top of the top. I feel like there's about 4 that are up there. You know what I mean? Like Excel, like you said, B3.
Black gold. I forgot about that one. That black gold. I'd like to have it to try.
Bowfinger is like, man, that's a tough choice.
It is.
But I think I'm gonna keep my carbon bar from a 3D bow set up like it is, and I'm gonna get that Ultra View scope. And I got the Copper John slide bar that I still like. I'm gonna put it on there. I already got my gripper mounts and all that, so I may just flip-flop stabilizers from one bow to another, I think. But if not, I'll look into some Conquest stuff. But I mean, I hate to say it, but the 39 won't get shot near as much as the 36 because, you know, we don't do a whole lot of indoor, but so
yeah.
it's probably worth me just flip-flopping them bars that way.
Probably so.
Instead of spending a fortune. But anyway, that's my thing. I'm getting one of them scopes. Somebody asked us, what one advancement would we like to see in bows in the next 2 to 3 years?
Can you really even say advancement? I mean, the only advancement I can see is 400 feet per second. I mean, we've already got 80 pounds. All the bows out there. I mean, you can't get too much more with a smooth draw. I mean,
that's kind of the way I see it. You either got more let off or more speed. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I guess I'd like to see just about 10 more feet per second, but with the same smoothness as most of the bows that have come out. Because it seems Elite started that wave of like super shootable bows, but the speed came back down to 330, 340.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of neat to get a similar feel, but at 350 or 60 without a crazy short brace height. But I don't know.
I don't either.
Something would have to be changed big time. I don't know what that is.
I mean,
a reverse limb compound bow.
I mean, that's really a hard question to answer, is because there's 100,000 different answers you could give, but it's just so much of what the engineers and everything can come up with. I mean, we've already got bows at 18 and 20 inches axle to axle.
Another thing that wouldn't hurt my feelings if they did is if most of these companies went to the tunable left and right cam system deal, you know what I mean? So that, like, instead of shimming, we just crank it with an Allen wrench. Because the more binary style cams that come out, the more we see us having to shim stuff.
Yeah.
Which is not the end of the world, but just a pain in the butt.
Yeah, a little time consuming.
If you could just ship, if most of them went to that. And I think that's probably going to be a big ego thing too, because like
Yeah.
everybody's going to be like, I ain't copying them, but I think that's probably a good thing that has came out in the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Just my thoughts.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that 100%.
Let's see. Somebody said, how often should I be restringing my hunting bow? We've talked about this a few times, but just on average, we tell people every 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Now, I say that, and then somebody will comment and say, mine's been on there 16 years. And yeah, I'm not saying you can't do that.
Yeah.
On average, a bow that gets dropped off with us, I'd say the string's probably been on there 6 to 8 years. But at that 2 to 3 year mark, you're starting to get some wear and tear, some stretch, just drying out, all that sort of thing. So like if I was shooting just a little bit backyard and then hunting with it, 2 to 3 years. My tournament stuff pretty much every year.
Yeah.
If I never shot and left it in the closet and shot it 10 times like some of these folks, I'd still about 3 years, because like I say, stuff's drying out. It's sitting there under tension. That's just my advice.
Yep.
Keep it waxed, but don't over wax it. Like we'll see some bows come in just caked with wax.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, it's probably flinging off when they shoot it. I'll take like my fingers and heat it up, get the wax on there, heat it, kind of burnish it into the string, but don't leave it just caked on there.
Yeah. And don't, I know we've said this a time or two, but don't put any kind of WD-40 or oil on your cable slide rod.
No, it'll make, or your roller or anything as far as that goes, because, all that's going to do is attract dirt, cause a mess. If, let's say, you're getting some squeaking from an axle, about the best thing to do is put it in a press, knock the axle out, put some white lithium grease, but ultimately that's going to be the limb, and the cam is going to cover that. It's not like you're just dumping some kind of grease on it.
Yeah.
Because we've seen a couple times a year somebody will come in, they've done WD'd their cams or their cable rod, something, and it's went bad.
Yeah.
it's got dirt and grinding, and
yeah.
So yeah, don't do that. I think I did a video on it one time, but if your cable rod is catching, you can, and I mean everybody's went to a roller, but
pretty much,
dry that rod off best you can. I recommend taking an old piece of newspaper, because that graphite will come off of the writing and get on that rod, and then at worst case, change your cable slide out. You're only talking about a $10 part. Something will fix it, but
yeah.
But yeah, don't. Something we should sell here, and I've thought about 100 times and just hadn't ordered any, is the things you put in like a bow or gun case. Keeps like the moisture out. I forget this little.
Oh, them little silica gels?
Something like that. But they make one just for like a outdoorsman,
Huh.
Because that's one thing, like you don't want to keep it in a super humid.
Yeah.
And you don't want to keep your bow in a hot shop or building.
Yeah.
People will come in and we'll be like, good Lord, your string had stretched, if we restring it, and they'll be like, and where you keep your bow at? Oh, I keep it in the attic of my shop.
Yeah.
Is it temperature controlled? No.
No.
Like, good Lord, man, that thing's probably getting up to 80 or 90 degrees.
Probably more than that.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had some come in that the guy would hand it to us, and we'd have to put it on the counter. It's like, well, we can't do anything to it right now.
So hot.
I mean, it's not good. The limbs can delaminate, and then it's a mess after that.
Yeah. Anybody got any cool Christmas plans? Anybody going anywhere? We're doing this. Well, we're even doing less than the normal, because the older folk are worried about the COVID stuff. So
yeah.
Hopefully y'all are doing good. And here's what I'm gonna make my New Year resolution.
Oh Lord.
2 things.
What's
One, we're gonna do our broadhead testing, and 2, I've got to start getting in that Facebook group and talking.
Yeah.
Because I feel so bad. I'll mention it. I'll get on there.
Yep.
And chat with people, and then it'll be like 3 months, and I'll be like, crap.
I know. I'm the world's worst of it.
So I got to do that. But anyway, If y'all do anything cool, put it in the art. If you get on Facebook, the group we're talking about is called Friends of the Archerishack, and I don't think there's but about 150, 200 people in it. But I talk it up, and it's funny because I'll notice we'll gain 5 or 10 people every time I mention it, and then I'm thinking, man, they probably hate it because we never post anything.
No, I never even think about it.
I'm gonna start doing it, and then maybe we can do some videos.
Yeah.
Somebody just ordered a string for a Hoyt Eclipse 2021. I don't even know if I know about that bow yet.
That's the ladies' bow, ain't it?
Is it? I'm gonna look it up real quick.
I'm pretty sure that's the ladies' bow. The one that's 300 and something feet per second at 28-inch draw or 27?
Maybe. Yep, it is. I don't even know if we got specs for it. We'll find them.
Yep.
Anyway, I guess it's about time to wrap this one up. But anyway,
Yep.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Y'all, if you need anything, we'll be closed Christmas Eve day, pretty much the 24th through whatever the next Monday is. So we'll be closed a couple days there, and then we'll be back to do our normal thing. But if y'all need us, holler at us.
Yep.
And we'll try to get y'all some videos percolating here soon, and we'll go from there. Don't forget, our live feed this week, if you're watching this when it comes out, will be tomorrow, Wednesday, because we won't be here Thursday. So we'll pop in and say howdy Wednesday night about 5:30, 6 o'clock. Anyway, we'll see y'all then. Thank you for watching.
Yep.
Click the subscribe button if you hadn't already. We'll be back to chat with y'all.
See y'all.